In May 2022, I got onto the Party Games leaderboard. However, Party Games wasn't my only journey, as 13 months later, I would get onto another top 10. This is how I became a hole-in-the-wall leaderboarder. In early 2022, I was introduced to Hole in the Wall mostly thanks to Oogie and Contrast, two very experienced arcade players. I quickly began learning about the community and the game itself, which fascinated me more and more every time I played. At first, I considered Hole in the Wall as my secondary game. When I got bored of party games, I would just hop on and try to beat my personal best, while Oogie would be grinding for the wins. Sometimes I'd spend hours on the practice server, trying to be better than the last time I played. I would study the playstyle of experienced players like Contrast and Puffleman, but Estelle's playstyle is the one that inspired me the most. I would adapt her strategies to my own, and I later combined it with Dog's playstyle, which carried me to where I am now. While I was undoubtedly becoming better, I wasn't really getting wins. After all, what makes you a leaderboarder isn't your skill, it's your playtime. But it's not until 1 year later that I started caring about wins. Early 2023 was when I realized that I had a massive opportunity. After I hit 400F, I was able to beat most other active hole-in-the-wall mains except for two players, Oogie and Dog. Oogie was slowing down on his grind and Dog was barely playing, so I started going for wins more often. It seemed like every 2 months my win count was doubling, so I kept going, and in May I had a funny idea. I decided to go for the monthly wins world record. It was a challenge that I was dead serious about beating, because 2 months prior, I had given up on the Party Games monthly record attempt, just 10 days in. And although the queue was terrible all month long, 1,200 hole-in-the-wall wins seemed much more achievable than 2,500 Party Games wins. I tried my best hitting my daily goal of 40 wins a day all month long, even peaking at over 100 wins in a single day on May 13th. By that point, I was well ahead of world record pace. I just had to keep that pace for 2 more weeks. And despite all the obstacles that came in my way, I finally got the record, breaking a record that stood for over 2 years. A question I've been asked before is, why decide to main this game specifically? It's a dead game anyways. Imagine if I put all those hours into a more relevant game, like Bed Wars or Skywars. Well, just like how I got into party games, I immediately felt very welcome in the hole-in-the-wall community. When I joined, there were already a lot of names that I recognized. People like Sky, Oogie, and Wire21 were all part of the Party Games community, a place that I was already familiar with. Once I got to know about the community, I never stopped learning about the game. No matter what my score was, I was never done testing new strats. After watching people who play Perfect, people who choose to arc strat, and people who alternate like Mert, my playstyle kept changing every 2 or 3 months and became a combination of everyone. What kept me going for months though is constant progression, no matter what my playstyle was. Unlike party games where I eventually hit a plateau and kinda stopped improving, I've never stopped improving in Hole in the Wall, except in qualifiers, but I had to sacrifice that to get better scores in finals. And all of that brings me to... Ultimately, wanting to progress more and more just to see a number go up was enough of a motivation for me to get on the leaderboard. At the end of May, I was only 600 wins away from the leaderboard, so I pushed through the lag and the timeouts, and I finally hit the leaderboard on June 25th at 4,300 wins. Now that I've reached my goal, I don't know what I want to do next. I still have a lot of ambitions for Hole in the Wall, like getting top 3 in wins and 800 total score. The thing is, I'm still a party games main in my heart, and my heart is telling me to grind party games. It may seem like I've quit, but I really haven't. In short, Hole in the Wall is a game where you're never done learning. You're always improving, and it's one of the nicest communities on Hypixel. This has led me to grind the game for almost 1.5 years and dedicate my last few months to making silly numbers go up. I'm really proud of how far I've come, and I've still got a long way to go. Thanks for watching.